Behind me is the headquarters of the Belgian Federal Police, and it is within these walls that another crucial piece of our understanding around the disappearance of Madeleine McCann may have emerged. Intelligence officers here believe she may well have been stolen to order. The reason for this is in 2007, when Madeleine vanished, officers intercepted information that a child trafficking ring, a paedophile ring operating here in Belgium, had ordered a small, blonde-haired, blue-eyed child to be stolen from the Algarve just 3 days before Madeleine disappeared.
My feeling is that probably this comes from police services in Belgium, and that those people had seen similarities between what is happening in Belgium in the case Dutroux and in the case McCann in Portugal.
This raises the prospect that someone was spying on the McCanns during their time there, and indeed even taking pictures. This information, we're told, was passed to Portuguese authorities at the time, and then, when British police took over, it was passed to them in 2008. The public was first made aware of this potential theory in 2008 when files were released by the Portuguese police relating to Madeleine McCann. The idea was brought up again in 2016, but was then consigned to the idea of conspiracy theory, particularly when Christian Bruckner emerged as a cast-iron suspect in 2020.
Pedophilia networks, you often have small networks. People who know each other and know how to earn money, and from that moment on it's more restricted, but there is still a network. Compare it a little bit with the pedophilia networks you have on the internet. Mostly they are big, but we have seen also here in Belgium recently with a journalist that sometimes it are only 3-4 people working together in a dark room and exchanging the movies and exchanging the pictures. So it can be all kinds of types of network.
But we can now reveal officers investigating Bruckner in Germany do take this theory credibly. They take the information intercepted by Belgian officers as being real. And while it forms part of their wider understanding of the case, they are not investigating it actively, nor crucially would it form part of any prosecution they might bring in relation to Christian Bruckner. Their reason for this is they remain entirely focused on Bruckner's would-be part in any snatch. They heavily suspect he is the man that took Madeleine, and furthermore they heavily suspect he is the man that ended up killing her.
It's very difficult to say this, but probably with all the elements we have until today, and only from open sources, I repeat again, I should not be wondered if this is a case of organized crime.
The notion that the disappearance of Madeleine may be linked to Belgium instantly resonates with people here in Brussels. The reason for that is Belgium was the epicenter of the European child trafficking and paedophile ring industry in Europe in the mid-1990s. In that time, a man named Marc Dutroux was uncovered as the biggest child abductor and child killer in Europe. He's still behind bars for those crimes, but officers who worked closely on that case during the mid-1990s are absolutely adamant that the networks that he worked with still existed in 2007, and they believe it's not only entirely possible, but probable that anyone ordering a child to be stolen would be linked to these networks.
I don't know kidnappings that are out of the blue, not organized at all. You have to take them all. We saw it in the case of Dutroux. Dutroux went to places where young people are coming, and from that moment on he said, okay, here I can kidnap one day, one moment. So if you receive, for example, an order from somebody saying, I want a young child, blonde hair, that age, he can take what he finds at the moment. So it's accidental for the child in question, but the kidnapping was organized, knowing what he had to do.
Senior officers who worked on the Marc Dutroux case in the mid-1990s not only think it is possible the disappearance of Madeleine is linked to the same networks as the fiend, but entirely probable. It raises the prospect that the toddler's disappearance was in fact linked to organised crime and to child trafficking rings intent on stealing children for profit.